Hey Sainers, welcome back to the Saints TV YouTube channel. Today we played Carlton. It was our first official practice match of the year after the intra-club last week down at Ikon Park at 10 a.m. I got down there early, had some brekkie with a mate and went to the game, and yeah, it's a practice game, you know. I've gone through the comments. There's been hundreds of comments coming through on the post over the course of the day. And yeah, some people have perspective and understand this time last year we beat North Melbourne by 96 points. Didn't really kind of go into the season playing like that side. And today, there were parts of the game that were really disappointing, and there were parts of the game that were pretty promising. First quarter, what was it? It was 5-2. It could have been worse. Carlton were by far the better team. Their intensity was really good, and from what I saw, we were just hacking the ball out of the back half. There wasn't a lot of composure in the way we were playing. It was very much like years gone by of hack it forward, kick to contests, take it out of bounds, rinse and repeat, and kind of hope that we end up, opening up the game and kicking goals out the back. And that wasn't really going to happen with Carlton. They were there to take it seriously, and that's what we want. We don't want easy games in the preseason. I'm glad that this was a tough game. Carlton came at us hard. They tackled hard. They played their game plan under their new coach, and had some new players and fresh faces and a big crowd. Good turnout at Ikon Park. Obviously 99% of them were Carlton fans. But from the first quarter onwards, second quarter was all us. Complete flip of the switch. It was all us. We kicked 4 goals. They kicked none. We basically overturned a 27-point deficit and put it up to, I think, a 6-7 point lead. And that was mainly due to Tim Membry. Tim Membry was outstanding, and some people question why I put him in my tier 1 in my rankings video that I did a couple of days ago. Well, today was a good example. Although, yes, it's a practice game, it just shows how important he is to us. And when Carlton regained the lead and kind of got that momentum back, that was parts of the game where Membry was off the ground and King was struggling. Sharman wasn't really getting to the contests. He played back. He went in the ruck a little bit. And that's kind of the big takeout is we didn't have a lot of run. And that's kind of a bit of a worry when you've got players like Jones, Hill, Sinclair. We didn't generate any sort of scores off half-back flank, and that's kind of, for me, what has been one of our biggest strengths over the last 2 years. Even when we were playing poorly last year, we did have some rebound, and today we didn't really get that run. There was maybe one passage, I think it might have been the first quarter, to lead to our first goal of the game, where we had it in the back half, flicked it around, went straight through the guts. I think Higgins took the mark in the forward 50, shanked the kick, and then Tim Membry marked it, kicked a goal on his left foot, and that opened up our account for the day. And that was really the only time we kind of went down the middle, like successfully. There was other times where we tried to cut into the middle. Even Tom Campbell was trying to cut into the middle, but the kicks just weren't coming off. And when you go into the middle of the ground, you really need to back your kicking efficiency and your skills, because if it doesn't come off, it's easy turnover down the guts and you can see goals. And we kind of coughed that up a couple of times. Other standout players for me, I thought Wood battled really hard. I thought he led up really well, and not only that, but his defensive efforts. when Carlton had the ball in the back 50 and they were chipping it around, he was always there to cut it off, and he did that a couple of times. Steele was quiet, but he got going in the second half. But Membry was definitely the standout. Another player that really impressed me was Josh Battle. And this is something we've wanted for a long time, is to have Battle in one position. Just give him one task and let him focus on that and become that player, not Mr. Fix-It in 4 or 5 different positions on the ground. So it was really pleasing to see that, he played on Curnow and he did a really good job. He was very physical. He was great with his disposal, took a couple of really good intercept marks, and he looked at home in the back line. And we were obviously missing Dougal Howard, missing Rowan Marshall, Paddy Ryder, Dan Hanbury. I'm probably missing a couple of names there. Billings played and he was okay. But we had some big names out, and when you're missing your 2 best rucks, it really showed, because in the first half in particular, Pitnat was just killing Campbell, and they were getting clearance after clearance after clearance. Chera was dominating. Cripps was playing like his old self, and they had a lot of confidence because obviously we were relying on Tom Campbell. But what Tom Campbell lacked in the middle, in the taps, I thought he made up for it around the ground. I thought he got his hands on the ball a lot. I thought he was pretty good in tight with some quick hands, and showed some good mobility. So although it was a bit of a slow start, I thought he kind of worked his way into the game. In terms of style, I guess that's kind of the one main worry, was that I couldn't really identify what style we were going for, and maybe that's a good thing, because my main issue last off-season was we kind of showed all our hands. We showed the whole competition the way we wanted to play. Against North, battered them, and against Carlton a couple of weeks later in the preseason as well at Marvel, we played quick and we kicked a lot of goals, and by round one, teams had worked out how to stop that, and the rest of the season was history, as we know. So whether, this was a game where we took it serious and it didn't come off, I don't think so. I think we really did try to trial things. We mixed it up in the middle a little bit. Hunter Clark, I thought, battled hard, but again, similar to the intra-club, it didn't completely come off. He did some nice things late in the game, but overall, it didn't look to me like, the Hunter Clark we want for 2022. But again, as I've said many times in my post today, it is a practice game. We don't want to lose perspective on that. To put it into perspective, Brisbane lost both of theirs, I think, last year. Melbourne struggled in their off-season last year. Both teams were top four and flying and very good last year. Obviously, Melbourne dominating and being the premiers and looking good again. So the off-season isn't really a clear indicator on the rest of the season. The off-season is to iron out the issues, to iron out the chinks, and to fix things that can be fixed in 2 weeks. And we've got a week off now. Dan Butler was the only main issue where I think he came off with a bit of a knock, but it looks like it'll be fine in a week or two. But overall, although I hate losing, that saying is, I hate losing whether it's a practice game or it's real season. I don't give a shit. I hate losing. I'm one of the most competitive people that my friends know. And especially against Carlton, a team that people think should do really well this year and may finish above us on the ladder. A lot of optimism there, but I like that they tested us. They obviously beat us, but I like that they came hard. They played physical, and it wasn't easy for us. And last year, both games were pretty easy. So I like that we've got that challenge now, and there's a few things that Brett Ratten's going to think about. I think our pace, we need to learn how to open up games a bit more. There were times where we probably could have gone fast today, but we didn't. Again, could be an instruction to slow it down. But the second term, we were completely owning the game. We chipped it around. And I guess the one main thing that I kind of don't like about that second quarter is that a lot of our goals were just turnover goals. And I don't want to rely on turnovers all the time, because there's going to be games where we're playing good teams and we're not going to be able to turn the ball over as often as we did in that second quarter and get easy goals out the back. We need to learn how to generate scores from our own ball use, not relying on mistakes from the opposition. So kicking it into better spots where King's leading. There were a couple of times Seb Ross was prone, did some really good things, but then his kicking inside 50 he was lacking, and that's not the first time I've said that about Seb Ross, but again, that's something that if we want to become a good team, we need to start hitting those targets and understanding where our forwards are leading. And I was with Joycey, we watched it together with another mate of mine, Paul, and we all kind of noticed that in that first quarter in particular, our forward structure seemed a bit off. King was very high, Butler was very high, Higgins was kind of out of the square. There was just a few things off, but it's a practice game, so it's really difficult to kind of gauge how accurate that is. Disappointed that we lost, but we really didn't get any serious injuries. Gresham, I thought, showed a lot of class. He only played probably like 30% of the game, but when he got the ball, he used it, and he used it well. He was very clever. There was a great setup. I think he set up Mason Wood for a shot where he kind of looked one way, but then kind of hooked the kick at the last second, saw him in his peripheries and nailed the pass, and it was a great setup on his end. His shimmies in tight were excellent. He wasn't tackled, and that shows me that he's confident in his body again. That's only great news for us to get Gresh back and to see him really starting to get back to where we want him to be. We missed our rucks. We missed Rowan Marshall around the ground. We didn't play with any sort of initiative for the majority of the game. But we got through it unscathed. We got a hit out against an AFL opponent. No injuries. Players get some, Ks under their belts, and we move on to Essendon next week. So for me, it's disappointing, but it's a practice game, and there were some shining lights, but there are also some room for improvement. I wouldn't be completely worried if I were you, Saners. I know that some comments from what I've read on the Facebook page kind of depict worried Saners, but I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't say it's another year of this or another year of that, or we've shown no improvement. Baby steps. We've only played an intra-club. We've played 4 quarters today. We've got 4 quarters to go against Essendon at Marvel, and that's where we want to be playing our best footy, at Marvel, not at Ikon Park in February. So if we dish up something similar to today at Marvel, then we can kind of raise some flags. But I think today was very much just building up the fitness, which we know that we lacked last year, and getting the skills going in the next game. So hopefully this was a fitness thing, and against Essendon we can really hone out a game plan, pick the best possible team, and then warm up, leading up into the Collingwood game on March 18. So I'll leave it there, guys. I appreciate you watching the video. Apologies it's not live. I just thought the game was at 10 a.m. I like doing the lives when it's fresh straight after a game, and obviously I didn't want to do a live today right after the game because a lot of you are probably at work and busy doing other things. So appreciate you watching it on the channel. Again, this is just my opinion on the game. I'm not too worried about it. I thought that there was some good things. I thought that there were some bad things, but a lot of it I saw as fixable. I forgot to mention though, Ben Patton, great to see him playing the way he did today. It shows how good he is. He always found the right spot to intercept the ball. His ball use was great. His run was great. And there were times where he really did put his body on the line. And it was great to see him take the hits and get back up and get on with the game. So that's sensational, and that puts him in a really good position to play in round 1 off the back of his injury last year. So just a last note on that. Thank you for watching. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Obviously, it's not just about what I think, it's about what you think. So leave your comments if you're at the game today or you watched it on KO. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and we can chat about it in the comments. And until next time, guys, enjoy the rest of your week, and go you mighty Saners. See you guys.